Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Welcome to All Natural Being. It's Brian, fired up to be here, I have to tell you, at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. As of yesterday, the good folks at IPM Nation kind of agreed with a few listeners. We had a pretty busy day yesterday, all because of a mishap in the morning. We're going to talk about today how some of our hurdles, some of our mistakes, some of the things you just pop up and go, oh man, that left a mark. But after a couple minutes, we go, wait a minute, maybe I can make, lemonade out of lemons. Maybe there's a way I can turn this to be better than it was pre-hijack, right? Pre-jackknife, as I like to play with my sons. So yesterday morning, just tough all the way around. There was some kind of weather between here. Let's just put it this way. It's right. We do a lot of work on internet here. So what happens when the storms get really bad, it kind of messes it up. So I started the show, and I can't tell at this end. Everything sounds great here, right? So I can't tell that things are messed up at all. So I keep going, and then people are texting me at 331-684-7685, 331-684-SOUL, texting me going, what's up with your voice? What's going on with this? What's going on with that? So, you know me. I've learned in ironing out, right? I guess we're in our 83rd episode now. I've learned to kind of go, all right, the live show sometimes can be a bit of a challenge, but at least we have the taped show. Well, something happened yesterday that even the tape show suffered some kind of catastrophic just derailment, and there was some kind of feedback that recorded. So when I went to go ahead and upload the show so that we could listen to it at a later time frame, we could listen to it at what would turn out to be 11 a.m. and then 8 p.m., right? The taped version. Well, even that was crap. So I'm like, you know what? This isn't fair to everybody. If you're going to give me an hour of your day, then we need to up our game at this level and figure out. And even though I know into every life a little rain must fall, I know that it's like, well, you can't control the weather. I get all that. So I decided that, well, just get out, go for a run, put it behind you. And then I would come back and I would do 11 a.m. live. I would do the entire show again, just out of a sense of commitment, out of wanting to do it right and being respectful for the people that give me an hour. For those of you that go, no, let's hook up with Brian, see what craziness he's up to today, right? I wanted to make sure that I was living up to my end of the bargain. So we decided to do yesterday's show live at 11, and the response was pretty cool. So apparently, for those of you that get up super early in the morning, there's more of us that are up midday that are up super early, I guess. Or maybe other people are busy, right? They got other things going on in the morning. So we had a quick meeting yesterday at IPM Nation after the fact and said, what would you say if we did a little bit of behind the scenes now? So we're going to do the 11 a.m. show, and I am digging it. We're going to do the 11 a.m. show live each day. There'll be a rebroadcast at 8 p.m., and then also the following morning, there will be the rebroadcast of that day's show. So the live, the all natural being will be at 11 a.m. And then if you're up at 8, and that's cool, or iTunes, as always, once Now, I haven't checked with Matt. I'll find that out and get back to us. My sense is at the end of the day, it's going to go up on iTunes, I think. I don't think we're going to wait till the following morning, but that's a great question that just popped to mind. But we're going to iron it all out because ultimately, however you get to the number one show here on IPM Nation, however you do it, whether you come live, whether you get the taped, whether you go into the library, when you get us on iTunes, when you get us on TuneIn, however you do it, I want you to know that I really am honored, I'm fired up, and I'm thrilled to be spending an hour with you, doing a show about you, reminding you that you're not built for retreat. You're not built for calling it a draw. And you're not built for taking a back seat to anyone. And that's what I want to focus on today. We're going to talk about Stockholm Syndrome. We're going to talk about the Hemingway quote of being strong at the broken places. So we got a bunch of stuff going on. But ultimately, this show is about you. This show is about reviving your inner superhuman. It's about unlocking your metahuman. Because if you're here possessing a human mind, that's a bag full of potential. And I think when we look around at some of the strife in the world, some of the stress, some of the unhappiness, some of the irreverence that we see, it's because we've forgotten who we are. What we possess, the natural resources that all begin with a human brain, a human mind, a human body. And though I'm not a doctor, especially for those of you new today listening, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, a therapist, a social worker, none of those things. My street creds are simply this. For 30 years, I've been trying to figure out how the human mind works. 3 decades. I know it's popular now with some self-help industry tactic provocateurs to talk about reading a book a day, but I honestly read a book a day. And you should know, if you're brand new to the show, that my only formal education is as an undercover cop. That's why I'm not a doctor, a psychologist, or a therapist, as I said, a social worker. My formal education is as a cop. So I tore into this concept of what it takes to operate a human mind, your human mind. I tore into this like a crime that I wanted to solve. And I knew there had to be evidence. I knew there had to be clues. I've talked before about CSI Mirror. Dun, dun, dun. You know, these popular crime scene investigation shows. Well, I want to know the crime scene that is your mirror. When you look into the mirror every morning, how you just don't grin. How you just don't smile. It happens to all of us, right? We have some blah days. What did Thoreau say? That most of us lead lives of quiet desperation. Quiet desperation? How could that be? Just look in the mirror. People go, oh, I don't know, Bri. I'm not liking the way I look. Look through that, just for now. Just help me with this. When you look in your own eyes, why not the thrill? The magic, the majesty, the brilliance that is you. I wanted to figure that out. So I was a cop. So I do what cops do. I investigate, right? Throw some philosophical fingerprint powder around and try to come up with what happened to us. People say life, it's such a battle. And I think life is like... Oh, yeah, you ready for some deep philosophical thoughts? Oh, I got to tell you this, a quick little side story. And I've got a bunch of side stories this morning just so we can get through it. But yesterday someone sent me a book on meditation. And I thought, okay, great. Let me get through this book. Maybe there's something to it. Right? Maybe there's something to this new and unique kind of book. And although here in a couple of weeks we're going to be launching my concept, because I want to get us right to that point. We're going to have the show, and there's going to be some other things going on in terms of video. But I want to talk about inner orienteering, which is the culmination of 30 years of study. What I've figured out about mindfulness, blah, 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 meditation, blah, blah, blah. But it's like meditation for the modern mind, meditation for the millennial mind, Meditation for the career-oriented mind. Meditation that works, minus all the baggage, all the trappings, all the craziness. And I call it inner orienteering. So I spend a lot of time studying, trying to figure out, okay, I want to make sure, right? I'm throwing my own philosophies in front of a grand jury and figure out, isn't it true? Does this work or doesn't it work? So in any event, I started one of these books. And it's just more of that, oh, nature loves you. Or the ultimate beauty is the lily in the field. No, I can think of some beauties that are better than the lily in the field. So it's like all of this Pollyanna nonsense. Because you want to know the truth about life? It can be brutal. It can just be beautiful. Oh, no, it's not brutal. No, it's not brutal, Brian. Life is just beautiful. Nature loves you. Wake up every morning showered in knowing the warm shower of nature loving you. Well, I've spent a lot of time in nature. And I must be missing the warm showers because you got to watch. Nature catches you off guard. Not a lot of kumbaya there. So that's what this show is about. Embracing the all-natural you, the superhuman you, the meta-human that is you. So that no matter what Mother Nature throws at us, no matter what our surroundings, our circumstances, no matter what it throws, when we throw ourselves into the labyrinth, we're able to handle whatever pops up. And you ask, well, how can we do that? That's a part of our all-natural being. It's already in you. Nothing to get, nothing to find, nothing to buy, no baubles. I say all the time, you like carrots? Don't put them in the end of the stick. Put them in a blender. Yeah, and a little bit of peppermint in there too. Make yourself a smoothie, right? Carrots at the end of the stick. Everyone's busy running around going, oh, one day I'll be happy. One day I'll do this. One day I'll do that. And then, boy, wait. Am I going to smile like I mean it? And then I think, well, what about this moment? And you look at the news. A whole host of circumstances where people thought, oh, I'll get to it tomorrow. You know what? They're not here today. They're gone. Never having fully employed their potential. And I don't want that to be you and me. So I think of myself as the pumice stone, right? Because the all-natural being is already in you. Nothing to get. It's already you. You're it. But we've been piled on since we were little, right? You and I were little, what was the quote? Tempest in a teapot. Boy, I watch my little ones now and go, Uncle, I surrender. Just little bundles of energy. Well, our caretakers at the time growing up, and I go, man, we got to check this energy. This is just crazy. Where's the duct tape? Oh, I do remember having a babysitter that used to belt me to a pole in the basement, put some toys in front of me, because apparently I was just crazy. My first trip to the beach, I ran right towards the water. Had to run in and save me. Keep me from drowning, I guess. So when we're young, and we're just explorers. All we want to do is get out there and see what we can get into. Our caregivers did what they need to do to well, you got to let's corral him a little bit. My good Lord, he's just running everywhere. So they used some different things to keep us in check because we were just too hard to handle. You and me both. You remember what it was like when you were little. So they use some things. Well, what happens is, as I say, you think about riding your bicycle. You need training wheels in the beginning. You need water wings to keep you afloat. You need some training devices. You need some add-on tools to help protect you in the very beginning. You can get on your bicycle at 2 years old and just bolt at 20 miles an hour and win a road race. You need training wheels. They don't want you to fall, scrape your knee. Your elbow, right? So we put on some training wheels. Getting over to the pool. Go to the pool from time to time. Kids in floaties everywhere. Now, I'm not slamming floaties. I'm simply saying that there's a shelf life to them. That pretty soon, It's time to peel them. Time to take them off. Because we can't get our own stability, our own equilibrium, our own flotation, our own balance if we're busy using inauthentic tools to keep us afloat. So that's why I look at myself as a pumice stone. That's why I look at the show All Natural Being as a big philosophical loofah, psychological jackhammer. I like the idea of being a giant eraser at the end of a number 2 pencil. A big toolbox that can help you remove your water wings, your training wheels. That's why I'm here to rattle your reality. Because your reality is you don't need training wheels. You don't need water wings. Gifted by the divine, and you define it as you see fit, gifted by the divine with a human brain, a human body, a human mind. You want to be in awe of something? Be in awe of what you see, who you see in the mirror. That's my goal, is to reconnect you with your all-natural being. And that's why I can say, I'm on your side even when you're not. I'm a huge fan of yours. Because I know underneath all the baggage, underneath all the training tools that our caregivers when we were younger had to adopt to try to keep a little bundle of energy, right? Had to keep us in check. Well, we get to a certain point in life and we're supposed to give all that stuff back. It's like having an overdue library book of 50 years, right? Oh, man, I think I was supposed to put that in the drop-in. Well, that's all I'm suggesting. All the tools. Because at a certain stage, those tools that we were given as a little kid to try to keep us in check, those tools, what do? Become carcinogenic. They weigh us down. They hold us back. It's like running around with a parachute. That's the amnesia that I talk about all the time. You've forgotten. We've forgotten. In those weak moments when we let the ego run rampant in our minds, in those weak moments, we forget who we are. So I'm interested in one thing. I'm interested in the answer that you offer, you right there, to one simple, and when I say staggeringly profound, I mean it. One simple yet staggeringly important question. Who are you? Who are you? Are you your bag of tools, outdated as they may be?
Oh, he's an old soul. He's living in the 60s, 50s. Nice.
Do they still wear bell bottoms?
Oh, those are some nice.
Well, I remember one time when I was in high school and I went to the prom, I had a polyester leisure suit. Any of those polyester leisure suits still out there? Maybe you got one in your closet, right? Some throwbacks, some things we don't need anymore. Beneath all those things, who are you? Because this is why it's such a great gig for me. I am absolutely confident. Let's just jump quickly to today's anaerobic aphorism so it doesn't get away from us. Living your vital is vital to your life. So what's yours? What's your vital? Let me answer that real quickly if I can. Your vital, your all-natural being. So this show, All Natural Being, is my opportunity to remind you of that power. To suggest, hey, maybe just for a little bit, we break some of those boundaries, break some of those ties, some of those tethers, some of those chains, some of those belts around the pole in the basement like when I was little. I don't even want to tell you the babysitter's name. It's just tormenting. Right? All Natural Being is my ability. Oh, I just think back and I'm like, oh, I can't even. All Natural Being is my ability to be like a tag team partner, yes? And to explore the exotic that's already within you. To push your mind to its cognitive cutting edge because your neurons dig the new. So I'm here to remind you each and every day, now at 11 a.m. and I'm loving it, I'm here to remind you to forego, as commonplace, as normal as it is, all the spiritual sabotage. All the instances when you and I leave our soul on the sidelines. All those instances where we permit ourselves to be held down and back. I'm here to remind you that at any moment you have the ability to demand the very best in life by deciding to let out the very best in you. Because it's the one and the same. The very best in life and the very best in you, same thing. And you can choose to live the euphoric life anytime you like. Well, how do we do that? By remembering who you are at your core, pre-amnesia, pre-blind spots, which we'll get to a little later this morning. Blind spots are just other people's beliefs about you. So you and I duck in behind them. Oh, he said I was no good. Oh, she said I was this or that. And then we just go, if they believe it, maybe they can see something that I can't. So then we don't tap into our vital. But our goal while we're here, our gig, our purpose is to expose our vital, to expose our exotic. So that's why I do it. 5 days a week. And all the taped, all the replays, all the studying, all the working. I truly do fall asleep every night and wake up every morning making sure that if you hang out with me for an hour and we do this show, that I'll have the latest in neuroscience, the latest in philosophy, the latest in consciousness, mindfulness, meditation, all the rest of it. Even subjecting myself to books like yesterday, I was like, oh, look, kumbaya. To be honest with you, I couldn't finish the book. Not even for you. I'm sorry. I tried. I tried to get through that book because that's what happens. All this, just get to the freaking point, would you? Oh, look at the beauty of the redwood is contained in an acorn. Oh, that's nuts, all right. Why does that help you and me? Oh, look. Blech. So I want to figure out every day, what's it going to do? Cut through all the baggage. No more playing a bellman.
Can I carry those bags to your room?
No, use your own natural being. They're their bags. Let someone else carry them. It's not on you. No more blind spots. No more amnesia. I'm here to suggest if you're currently estranged, that's all it is. It's not that it's not in you. If you're estranged from your inner superhuman, from your meta-human, if it's been a while since you tapped your home base, remember the game of tag when we were little? You got to get back to home base. If it seems normal in your life to second-guess yourself, I would offer you and I may want to take care of that. Do what we got to do to make sure that we stop second-guessing ourselves. Because you're vital. A part of it, part of releasing it, is for you to be your own best friend. For you to be your biggest fan. For you to give yourself 2 thumbs up. How long's it been since you've done that? How long's it been? Be honest. How long's it been since you've given yourself 2 thumbs up? We're going to look at some of the reasons this morning as to why we may have stopped doing that. And I'm hoping in doing that we get to reset your mindset. That we get to resuscitate your all-natural being, your resilience, your natural resources. We get to revive your thick skin, the authentic girth of your backbone like we talked about yesterday. Because I think it's time to get your grit back. It's time to get back in the groove. It's time, I would offer, for us to restore your core. Because the future is a pretty wild place. All we have to do is look around and go, wow, there's a little bit of uncertainty out there. Not just here in the States and the political stuff, but all over the world. All over the world. And I don't want to go all prepper. I don't want to go all survival expert. I don't want to go all Rambo. Whatever it is, right? Living in the mountains. Living off the earth. All that survival stuff. All I'm simply saying is that you may want to contemplate being a spiritual survival expert, a spiritual self-defense expert. Why is that important? Well, one, you're going to feel better if you do. But 2, and more importantly, I think in the future, it's going to be the people that spiritually know, that are able to defend themselves spiritually. that they're survival experts when it comes to their core. When it comes to the pure within them, they're going to be the ones that can handle no matter what the future throws up. People enveloped in their ego, going to be a tough time. Because the ego doesn't like change. The egoic mind likes all the attachment to outside fluff, all the bling, all the baubles, all the little toys. It digs it all. What happens if all those go away? What happens? For you and I, we'll know we'll put a smile on our face. We'll square our shoulders, check our six, and throw ourselves into the fight, whatever that fight may be. And that's why I think it's so important for you to remember who you ultimately are, because you are a force of nature. And your higher power, your divine, however you decipher and define it, it's waiting for you to rally. It's waiting for you to remember who you are. Because then it can kind of like not so much worry about you. It knows what's coming in the future with challenging times. But when we're confronted by challenging times, the people that are going to come out on top are the people that don't challenge themselves in the mirror. If we're busy challenging ourselves in the mirror, no wonder we don't have energy left to challenge ourselves in the future. It's no wonder. You are a rare breed. Why settle for a farce of a life when you are a force of nature? We may have forgotten it, may have been dormant, but it's not dead within you and me. We have the ability, as we talked about yesterday, to put our imprint, to corral chaos as we see fit. We're not going to be victimized by chaos. We're going to be the victor over it. How do we do that? I'm game. I'm in. Whatever life throws, let's be open. We talked yesterday about being vulnerable. That doesn't mean being a victim. It just means, yeah, I'm open. I'm open for business. What do you got for me? Show me. Bring it. What do you got it? Now, a part of that is going to be to ignore your critics. The walking, talking Venus flytraps, right? The never-ending pits of quicksand. The chorus of all those that want to hold you down and back. They dig not being alone. So they want, what do they say, misery loves company. They don't want to wallow around the backwaters of their minds all alone. So like, hey, come on in. The water's warm. So what? Our ankles are tied. We're duct taped to the bottom here. But come on in. We could do hand puppets. So let me ask you, let them stay in their blah. It's not for you and me. If they don't have the courage, if they don't have the desire to tap into their all-natural being, why does that mean that we have to wallow around with them? Look, I just don't say you're a rare breed because I like the way that sounds, although I do. You're a rare breed because if you're believing in your all-natural being, if any of this kind of tweaks you a little bit, it grabs you a little bit. Look, this show isn't for everyone. There are all kinds of people that are absolutely comfortable being marked down like a tchotchke item at a discount table underneath a flashing blue light at a local 5 and 10 store. They're comfortable marking themselves down. They're comfortable leaving their natural resources to atrophy. But that's not you and me. When I say you're a rare breed, people that decide to tap into their all-natural being, to unlock their metahuman, they're a different breed. And they most certainly are not going to be held back by their critics. Not going to be held back by everyone else's definition of what you should do, what you should be. Let me ask you, what do you want to do? Who do you want to be? If you had no critics, if you had no baggage. Let me ask you this before we get to the bottom of the hour. What about the pre-baggage you? If you could go back, you go back, you go back, you take a step back, you take a step back. The pre-baggage you, what was that? Who was that? So hopefully today's the day you stop carrying their baggage. A little bellman uniform.
Yeah, can I take your bags to your room for you?
No, the hell with them. Make them carry their own bags.
Oh, well, the elevator's out.
Tough crap. They're such a huge fan of all the baggage, all the self-defeating beliefs, all the blah. Let them lug them around. No more brainwashing from either outside sources or from ourselves. No more. No more blind spots. No more. You and I already have everything we need. So that's why I say we're going to rally the rare breed within you. We're going to do it together. We're going to help each other rally each other's rare breed. And I say on the website, if you haven't had a chance to stop over yet, allnaturalbeing.com or unlockingmetahumans.com or revivingsuperhumans.com. You get where I'm going with this. Stop on over, leave me an email. I'll trade you email. I'll send one back to you. But I always say over there, your confidence is about to make a huge comeback. Why? Because when we remember who we ultimately are, outside of all the scaffolding, all the indoctrination, all the counseling, for their own good, all the things that have been piled on us, when we strip that away, when we let our all-natural being into the light of day, that's what happiness is all about. That's why you're vital. Living your vital, who you are, your core. That's why it's so important. It's vital to your life. So is today the day you and I will refuse once and for all not to let the plastic fruit in our lives dictate the menu of our minds? You got packing peanuts? Spit them out. They're no good for you. Yeah, they're really not. They're filling, but not terribly good for you. So is today the day we get rid of all the crap in our lives? You know what it takes to be great. Stop acting like you don't. You can feel this, or you'd have tuned out a long time ago. So no more masquerading. No more hiding behind your blind spots. If you're here to wow the crowd, to steal the show, to manifest your destiny, to live up to your end of the bargain, to be a metahuman, to revive your inner superhuman. And once you do that, life is a pretty fantastic gig. We'll be right back.
You're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. How much longer will you let them hijack your head and your heart?
Right, so when we talk about the you, we're talking about both people outside going, over here, here's a shiny object. Look over here. Hello, boys. Hello, girls. But we do the same thing. The ego does the same thing. Ooh, look at that. We get distracted. We get derailed. Let's not do that anymore. All right, jumping into today's show. I want to thank you again for hanging out with us. As I say all the time, it really is an honor to be here with you. We've already done the anaerobic aphorism, so I want to thank you, right? Because even though I didn't get to hang out with you bright and early this morning, we're hanging out midday, 11 a.m. Eastern. We're going to have the replay at 8 p.m. tonight. I'm still very thankful for the ability to be here. I dig hanging out with the kindred. I dig hanging out with people who are actively engaged with their all-natural being, actively engaged with life. We don't cower in any corner, put our tail between our legs. We're out there, in the thick of it, smiling like we mean it. So I dig hanging out. So thank you for making me a part of your day. All right, so this morning, 3 quick little stories. Oh, man, and then I want to get to, let me see where we are on time here. All right, 3 quick little stories. I saw a bumper sticker the other day. It said, "No retreat, no surrender." And it was on the back of a pickup truck, and there were some other stickers, and I'm thinking to myself, how did vulnerability get such a bad rap? Because in my mind, when I saw no retreat, no surrender, I finished the bumper sticker in my mind going, then no life. Ego wants to run around puffing its chest.
Oh, look at me. I never retreat. I never surrender.
Okay. So there is that mentality out there. But for you and me, we don't have to buy into it. Because the key to martial arts, philosophical and physical martial arts, is always flexibility. It's always suppleness. No retreat. There's all kinds of moves in martial arts where you step back. Vulnerability. Sometimes you got to take the punch to know what's coming. So no retreat, no surrender means no life. It's not the way this gig in the labyrinth works. And although there are no wrong turns, as long as you make the very next turn, there are no dead ends. There's only cul-de-sacs here in the labyrinth. The alleys might be blind for a little while, but as long as we have the courage for around the corner, even though we can't see it, as long as we embrace uncertainty, that dancing with chaos, leaving ourselves vulnerable is how we make it through the labyrinth, how we level up in the labyrinth. So no retreat, no surrender, no life. Although I wish these folks the very best. Here's something else I want to talk about this morning. The fear of missing out. Now, if you get emails like I do, because again, I throw myself into all this self-help industry tactics, right? The big business of making you feel like there's something wrong with you, like you're missing something, and if you only do all these different things, then, well, wow, sit back and just wait for the sparks to fly. So I subject myself to a lot of this drool. Well, again, why I call them self-help industry tactics. Wait for the acronym. So I subject myself to a lot of these online, the gurus. I'm a life coach. And I'm fascinated. Have you heard that with this, again, this term, fear of missing out? So you get these emails. Last chance, final offer, closing soon, coming to an end, expires tonight. Don't miss out. And every time I see this, it makes me think back. Remember when we were little and you'd see those commercials?
If you order before midnight tonight, we'll go ahead and throw in we'll throw in a key off of Belize. We'll throw in a new Mercedes. All if you order before midnight tonight, all you do is pay for shipping and handling.
Right? This fear of missing out has been around for a while. In the self-help industry, the big business that is the motivational industrial complex wants to motivate you. I'd like to demotivate you. I'd like for you to take an evolutionary leap back. Everyone's, I want a higher consciousness. I'd like you to have a lower consciousness, lower, even lower. Like a giant philosophical limbo game. Lower. Reconnect with who you already are. But I've noticed in all these tactics, you better order now. Better log in now. This is your last chance. Final offer. It'll be closed for 10 years. It's coming to an end. Expires tonight. You ever get tired of being played? Especially by people that should know better. Here's the people that say, we're in the self-help industry. We want to help. We want to be a part of the positive transformation. I'm sorry, I promised myself I would limit myself to only one vomiting sound a show, which means I just broke that because I think that's the second time I've done it. But come on already. These are people who should know better. It's not about transformation. It's about restoration. It's not about getting anything. It's about getting in and getting your best back out of you. These are from people that should know better, but they'll do anything.
I've got a gallon of snake oil. I got to cut this. I got to turn this gallon into 50 little smaller bottles so I can sell some more snake oil.
They should know better. And at times, it's just like, let me ask you this, so we can bring it a little more closer home. You ever get tired of being played? The other day I was hanging out. My 3-year-old son likes to watch a particular show on TV. And when he didn't get to watch the show, he was doing something, and maybe it's late in the day, or I don't know. But he didn't get to watch the show. So all of a sudden he comes running up alongside of me, grabs my hand, holds my hand, and says, "Hi, Dad, how are you?" "Well, I'm great. What are you up to, buddy?" "Oh, I just came to say hello." "Oh, thanks." And he goes, "Yeah, I was thinking, could we maybe watch Chuggington?" Which is one of his shows, this animated train show. And then it dawned on me, I was being played. Mom had already said, no Chuggington for you. So what does he do? He plays me. So it's ingrained apparently at a very early age to play each other. But do you ever get tired of it? Now, clearly, we didn't watch Chuggington. I said, come on, know what you're up to. Oh, and then he storms away, right? But as we get older, you ever get tired of being played? Ever be tired of being, just think in your own life. Someone else's shoulds, someone else's shames, someone else's smiles, maybe. And for me, this whole thing in the self-help industry, oh, get in right now. The doors are closing. You'll never get in again. Hell with you. If it's so important, this class is going to save my life. Oh, the clouds are going to part. Whoa! And lightning bolts and rays of sunshine are just going to transform my life. My mental well-being expires in your mind after midnight Eastern, then go to hell. So don't get played. You already have everything. You've always had everything you've ever needed. So don't fall for the fear of missing out. Don't fall for yet another self-help industry tactic.
Oh, well, classes are closing. Doors are closing. Limited seats available.
I'll catch the dog and pony show next time then. All right, another thing I wanted to focus on. Oh, come on, Brian, pick it up. Another thing I want to focus on this morning. I saw this quote the other day from Hemingway. The world breaks everyone, and afterward, many are strong in the broken places. So 2 quick questions. Do you believe that to be the case? And 2, if you do, talk to me about some of your strongest places. Maybe that's a way each morning or throughout the day or later in the evening to focus on some things to be grateful for, to be happy about, a sense of being fulfilled with who you are. Maybe that's the way we do it. We focus on our strongest places. What are some of the places you're strongest in your life? When you look back, even if it's been brutal, even if it's been tough, what are some of those places where you rose to the occasion? Not above the circumstances. That's another one of these terms. Oh, I got to rise above our circumstances. I like diving right into them. Like bobbing for apples, slapping my face right down, coming up. Oh, no, we got to rise above our circumstances. We are our circumstances. I saw this other one. Oh, man, what was it the other day? It's something to do about achieve your true potential. How can you achieve? You already have it. The question is, will you use it? So if the world does, if Hemingway's right, and the world does in fact try to break everyone, and afterwards many, like you, maybe some of the other people around us, maybe they're not. They just sit, focus on the break. They don't realize the strongest place is within them. So what are some of yours? What's your potential? You don't have to find it. You don't have to achieve. There's nothing to get. How will you use your potential? It's in you. It's innate. It's a part of your all-natural being. It's a part of your natural resources. So what's going on in your life right now? Today, right now. It'll be noon when the show ends up. Oh, man, don't forget 331-684-7685, 331-684-SOUL. How are you going to use your potential? How are you going to live your vital? It's that important for you and I to figure out. We don't want to go back broken. We don't want to go back having not lived our lives to the fullest. With smiles on our faces, with our shoulders squared, checking our 6. We talk all the time about 20-minute victories. What can you do right now for the next 20 minutes to unleash that inner superhuman? What can you do? Specifically, maybe get out your journal, your logbook, write it down right after where you put all the different things you're thankful for, all the things that you're happy about in life. How could you use your potential? Not the watered-down version of yourself that maybe some of those around you want you buying into, right? Misery loves company, as I said earlier. Not the watered-down you, but the meta-human you. How could you tap into some of those powers, some of those energies? What would you do? Which leads me, we're not going to have time to get to the segments. I rambled on. So let's jump ahead to what would have been segment 3. We've talked about this in past shows, but today I'd just like to highlight it so that you can kind of in your own mind focus and go, wow, never looked at it that way. But have you heard of the Stockholm Syndrome, right? Stockholm Syndrome is where people, captives, start to feel a bond towards the people that are holding them hostage. The hostages, they feel like empathy and sympathy. They have positive feelings towards their captors. Sometimes to the point where they end up defending them. I think it's also been called traumatic bonding, where hostages, they have strong emotional ties that develop with the people that are keeping them captive. Now, it would be easy if this segment of the show just devolved into,
Who are the people in your life holding you back? Who are the people that are your captors?
but I want to know about the parts in you that are holding you back. Those parts in you that you've become attached to, that you have empathy for or sympathy for. Those parts of the egoic mind. Those dusty attics. Those pigeonholes in your mind that you and I have grown comfortable with. I think of Linus and his blanket. So if there's a Stockholm Syndrome, an inner Stockholm Syndrome, what are some of the negative thoughts, comfortable as they may be? What are some of the negative thoughts that you and I have started to capture bond with that are holding us back? Because the key to all of this is to be your own best friend, to be your own biggest fan. And it begins when we get off our own backs. So if you have your journal, your logbook, your evidence blotter, if you have it out, what are some of the negative thoughts that you have, that you've built empathy with, that you have your own inner philosophical Stockholm Syndrome going on? Maybe you're to the point where you dig your blind spots. Maybe you're to the point where you're like, no, I like that here. I like being a cognitive couch potato. And if you are, look, it's fair enough. I say all the time, this show may not be for some folks. I didn't want this show to be for everybody. I wanted it to be for the kindred. I wanted it to be for the people that wake up one day and go, whatever it is. It used to be midlife crisis. Now there's even a quarter-life crisis. Even some millennials are running around going, what is the meaning of my life? I wanted this show to be for those folks that one day go, I have had enough of looking into the mirror and being disappointed or ticked off or just looking in the mirror and the smile I get back is just blah. Blah. So as easy it was to be. Did I say that right? Excuse me. As easy as it would be. As easy as it would be to look outside of ourselves and go, oh no, there's a captor that's holding me back. If we're being held back, we're co-conspirators, you and me. Co-conspirators. We've entered into an agreement to keep ourselves in check. We're in a conspiracy. Right? Whenever two people get together, agree to commit an act, and then move in the furtherance of a crime, and then they move forward in that act, you and I are in a conspiracy. If we're holding ourselves back, we're subject to our own Stockholm Syndrome. How is that helping us? We were going to talk in segment 1 this morning. See if we can blend it in a little here in the closing 10 minutes. We're going to talk about blind spots. Most times, they're just the beliefs of others. So how do you and I buy into the beliefs of others and they'll allow those things to hold us back? We wake up and we go, I've met the enemy. That's the good news. Bad news is, I'm the enemy. How do we hold ourselves back? How is it benefiting us? I don't know how old you are, but I know your days are dwindling. I have to tell you, it was very interesting to me. It's been 10 years since I hung out in that cave on the mountain, Wudong, in China. 10 years. It seems like yesterday I was there. But in that blink of an eye, 10 years, in the bag. It flew by. So maybe, who knows? Maybe I got 2 more of those fly-by chunks of time left. Maybe 3, if I'm lucky. You know, I've had a great life. But time is flying by for us. And you deserve, however that time's going to fly by for you, you deserve to live it with a smile on your face. So enough crap, enough Stockholm Syndrome from ourselves or from others. No more self-help industry. You know, this would be a good time. I love this we're going to play this right here. This is Matt from IPM Nation. We'll play this. We'll be right back. I get a quick sip.
No self-help industry tactics here. You're listening to The Real Deal, Brian Brawdy, with All Natural Being on IPM Nation.
So no more self-help industry tactics. You want a fear of missing out? How about this? Let's fear missing out on our smile. Smiling like we mean it. The deep now. I saw an article the other day, the military is talking about threats of the deep future. How about you and I focus on the deep now, the actual marrow of our minds, use in our soul's sap. How about we focus on that? Not the blind spots that are thrown up because other people can't handle our light. I know I'm paraphrasing, but I saw a quote by another author somewhere that it's not the darkness that we fear, it's the light within us that we fear. Well, the blind spots, other people are absolutely thrilled that you and I have blind spots. They don't want to be blinded by your light. But in the blink of an eye, you and I are going to be out of here. So let's live those fleeting moments like they were meant to be, because they are. Another thing that I read yesterday, I don't even want to say the name of the meditation book. Oh, yeah, Forbes had just done an article on this. I think it was Forbes I read yesterday. Just done an article in this book, and it was drivel. One of the chapter titles, Free Your Mind from the Outside World. Your mind is the outside world. We're in the labyrinth. Our mind and the labyrinth is one. Also, sit. Here was the tip. Sit and clear your mind of all thoughts. How does that get published? Right? How does that even make it into a book? Clear your mind of all thoughts. No. I don't think I will. The key to meditation is not to clear your mind. It's to cut the attachment to them. Let your mind go. Now, it doesn't have to be a can show. Right? We don't have to buy into that. We don't have to embrace it. We can engage it. Watch it float on by. Free your mind from the outside world. More self-help industry tactics. Because your mind is a part of the labyrinth. The outside world and the inside world are one and the same. That's why yesterday we were so confident in our ability to be able to subjugate chaos in the moment to our imprint, to corral it the way you or I see fit. Free your mind from the outside world. How would you even do that?
Well, get into a room and turn off all distractions and free your mind from the outside world.
That's why I say, yeah, you're welcome. I read this crap so that you don't have to. You can't free your mind from the outside world because it is a part of the labyrinth. That's the beauty. That's the magic. Yesterday, I talk all the time about synchronicities. Let me get this story in real quick. And then we're going to get ready to run here. But I'd gone down to a meeting, and it was an impromptu meeting. I wasn't going to do it. The guy just called and said, hey, look, is there a chance you can come down? I had just finished the show, so it went down about 24 hours ago. I just finished the show, and I was like, well, I should probably grab a bite to eat, maybe do a little something, finish up my book for the day. But I said, no, all right. He says, I'll only be here for a half hour. Can you come down? I go, yeah, great. I'll come down. So we're standing there. We're yucking it up a little bit. We're talking. Ended up staying a few minutes longer than I thought I would. All of a sudden, I see his eyes light up as he's looking behind me. I spin around, and it's another old friend of ours who I hadn't seen in probably 5 years. Well, this guy says, wow, I just happened to stop by. I didn't have any clue you were going to be here, but it's great to see you. And I said, in fact, it was great to see you as well. How's our friend Reed? How's our friend? And our friend is suffering from an incurable disease. So I had a chance to reach out to him yesterday afternoon. I wouldn't have known. I haven't spoken to him in all these years, but if I hadn't agreed to that particular meeting at that particular time of day, I would not have been in the position to have my other friend walk in and then have him say to me, hey, did you hear about him? And I wouldn't have had a chance to reach out to him. So in that moment, your mind and the outside world, that's the labyrinth. Those chance occurrences, right? Those synchronicities. To quote Carl Jung, I don't want my mind freed from the outside world. They are one and the same. What I want is not to have to buy into the ego's craziness from time to time. Throw myself into the labyrinth. Throw yourself into the labyrinth. Have confidence in who you are at your core, your all-natural being. It can handle anything. That's your true potential. That's your natural resources. You and I are skin bags of natural resources, full of them. That's all we are. And when you and I take an evolutionary leap back to who we are at our core, that's when life begins to rock. All right, it looks like it's time to get out of here. Thank you so much, especially for those tuning in live to the new 11 a.m. show. Super appreciate it. Thank you again for making us the #1 show here on IPM Nation. Most importantly, thank you for giving me an hour to be your tag team partner, to be a part of your kindred each and every day here at All Natural Being. Don't forget, allnaturalbeing.com, unlockingmetahumans.com, revivingsuperhumans.com. You get where I'm going with this. It's all the same thing. You're all natural being. Stop on over. Leave me your email. I'll trade you. I'll leave you mine. We can hook up that way. Don't forget, tonight at 8 p.m. will be the rebroadcast of today's show. And then tomorrow morning, bright and early, if you're driving to work, you didn't get a chance to listen this show today, or you didn't get a chance to catch up in the evening, you can listen to this one, and I'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We're doing it all over again. In the interim, here's the gig. Just remember who you are. No more amnesia. No more blind spots. And you remember who you are and all that you're capable of. Nothing can touch you. Nothing can touch you. So when it comes to being connected, to be empathetic, to being sympathetic with those parts of your own mind, the egoic mind that's holding you back, enough Stockholm Syndrome. We can begin with smiling like we mean it. And that begins when we square our shoulders, no matter what life throws at us, what the synchronicities are. Throw yourself, say yes, say I'm game, I'm in. And wait and see what that does to your overall happiness. All right, my friends, thank you so much, very much again. And I am looking forward to hanging out with you tomorrow. Have a fantastic day.
listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy.
Join us live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern.
Also, check us out around the clock at allnaturalbeing.com.
Until then, always remember to bring your own bold.
See ya. Get out there. Bring your own bold. Make it a great day.